The full moon cast an eerie silvery glow over the quiet town of Raven's Hollow. Its light spilled through the cracked windows of the old miller's house, illuminating the shadows that lurked within. Inside, 16-year-old Emma Miller sat beneath a blanket, clutching a worn flashlight, her heart pounding like a war drum. Tonight was supposed to be a normal Friday, but something had changed. She could feel it in her bones, a strange, restless energy that prickled her skin and turned her stomach cold. Ever since her grandfather, Arthur Miller, had passed away 2 weeks ago, Emma had been feeling increasingly uneasy. The stories he told her as a child about the legendary creatures roaming in the woods surrounding Raven's Hollow suddenly seemed less like stories and more like warnings. He would whisper about the shadows that moved between the trees, about the howling that pierced the night, about the creatures with eyes like burning coals and teeth like jagged knives. Emma brushed aside her fears, convincing herself it was just her imagination, fueled by the stories she'd loved as a kid. But tonight, her rational mind wavered. She had heard something outside. A low growl, muffled by the wind, followed by the rhythmic, loping footsteps that seemed too deliberate, too predatory. She pressed her ear to the window, trying to listen. The sounds faded, replaced by an uncanny silence, but then came a sudden, distant howl, long, shrill, and filled with pain. Emma's breath hitched. Her eyes darted around the darkened room, searching for something, anything, to help her feel safe. She found her grandfather's old hunting knife on the windowsill, and her grip tightened around its cold handle. Outside, the shadows seemed to ripple, distorting the edges of the trees like dark water. Emma's pulse hammered louder than ever, each beat echoing in her ears as the howling resumed, closer this time, echoing through the hollow woods. A myth? A nightmare? She wasn't sure anymore. All she knew was that she had to stay awake, had to stay alert. Suddenly, the back door trembled as if something, or someone, was trying to force its way inside. Emma froze, her eyes wide with terror. The knob rattled. Then, a scratch. A wet, tearing sound that made her stomach churn. She backed away slowly, pressing her back against the wall, knife raised in trembling hands. The door burst open with a violent shove. In the doorway stood a figure, tall and hunched, its eyes glowing red beneath the glow of the moon. The figure's body was covered in matted, dark fur, stretching and contorting as if struggling to contain its monstrous form. Its mouth was pulled back in a snarl, revealing sharp, jagged teeth. Emma screamed, but her voice was drowned in the howling wind outside. The creature lunged, claws raking across the wooden doorframe, leaving bloody gouges. Emma stumbled back into the corner, heart pounding in her ears. She managed to find her voice and yelled, "Stay away. I don't want to hurt you." The creature hesitated, for a second, eyes flickering with a strange intelligence, pain, perhaps? Or confusion? Then it snarled again, a guttural sound that chilled Emma to her core. She remembered her grandfather's words. Werewolves can be chained by their own bloodline, but only if you understand their curse. She reached for the locket around her neck, a gift from her grandfather with a tiny, silver wolf engraved on it. Gathering her courage, Emma whispered, "I know what you are. I know what you need." The beast paused, its trembling form suddenly stiffening. She saw a flicker of recognition in its glowing eyes. Suddenly, the creature shifted, its jagged form shrinking, fur receding, until standing before her wasn't a monster but a man. A young man, barely older than herself, bloodied and trembling. He looked at her with desperate, pained eyes. "Please," he rasped, voice hoarse. It's not me anymore. I'm cursed. I can't control it." Emma's mind raced. She remembered hearing stories of cursed bloodlines, of rituals, and her late grandfather's warnings. She hesitated, then reached into her pocket for her grandmother's silver bracelet, a family heirloom. "I believe you," she whispered. "There's a way to break it. I'll help you." As she slid the bracelet into his trembling hand, a strange shimmer filled the air, an ancient magic, awakening from its slumber. The creature shrieked, a sound of agony and relief intertwined, as the curse was lifted. His form blurred, then faded into a harmless figure slumped against the wall, tears streaming down his face. Emma gasped, trembling with exhaustion and fear. Outside, the moon dipped behind clouds, cloaking Raven's Hollow in darkness once more. The howling ceased. She knew tonight's terror had been a nightmare come to life, but it also held a strange hope, a brittle thread of salvation. As dawn approached, Emma vowed to learn the truth about the curse that haunted her town, about the bloodlines that tangled in shadows, and about the creatures that hid behind their humanity. And sometimes, only human cruelty could save a cursed soul.